Hi, I'm Corinne Josepher, and I'm here with Hajir Nejati and Frank Blakeley at Bay Equity Home Loans, and we're going to discuss what you need to know to make home buying within your reach. Today we're going to discuss down payment assistance programs. Thanks for sitting down with us today, you guys. I know a lot of people have questions about down payment assistance programs to help ease the pain of getting that together for their loan. So what programs are out there?
There's probably too many programs to actually mention right now, but that's a good thing for home buyers, right? Because there are a lot of programs, that's true. But one of the major, I think, websites that you can go to or Google is HAFA, which is HFA, not FHA, which is a government insured program. But they probably have the most variety of programs within one umbrella. And so they have teacher credit assistance. They have what's called the MCC program, which allows to get extra income tax credit as far as interest that you can write off. They have FHA loans, conventional loans, a lot of different programs that can give anywhere from 1% to a total of almost 8% in down payment assistance programs that can go towards your closing costs as well as your down payment.
And so with these assistance programs, is it just money that's given, or do you have to pay it back, or does it get added to your loan? How does that work?
So there are all of the above, but to complete that, you also can check the city's website. Some of the cities have their own special down payment assistance programs to keep the home ownership numbers up. They have some funds available for that, but that's specific to the cities. And the thing with the down payment assistance programs is they come and go, so they're not always set as a standard number and don't stay long. So it should be available at the time of the buying. So that's something to be checked every time, basically.
Yeah, so depending on the program, there's what I like to call strings attached to it. So for CalHAFA does have some strings attached to it. What I mean by that is that the down payment assistance is given like a form of a second lien or a third lien, depending on how much assistance you're actually being granted or you're using to buy the home. There are programs like Golden State Finance Authority that allows grants where within a year that whole down payment assistance can actually be forgiven.
Oh.
Right, so the one big thing, and then we say this so many times, and I know it's hard for consumers because it's really hard to find out like what information is pertinent to you, but that's the reality, is everybody's different, and you might qualify for one program and not qualify for the other because they still do take your debt to income, so how much you make versus all the debts and the housing expenses. They take your credit score, and they even have income limits. And I think that's the challenge, is that every first-time home buyer, which is somebody that hasn't owned for 3 years, I think that's really important. So you may have owned 5 years ago, even 4 years ago, and you can still qualify for these new first-time homebuyer down payment assistance programs. But yeah, every situation is different. So we find out, okay, here's the normal conventional or FHA realm and the normal down payments that you go with. Compare it against the down payment assistance programs. Allow you to see the difference to make home buying possible, hopefully sooner than later.
So somebody doesn't have to go search and sift through all these programs. They can just come to you and talk to about it?
Sure. So we can talk about all of those. We can check the cities for the down payment assistance program. We can see how many of them we can combine together.
Okay.
But first and foremost, if the income limits and the geographic location would allow any of these, that's the first thing that we need to check.
So I think one of the great things about the down payment assistance program is that if you took like a $300,000 loan, that 8% is $24,000.
Right.
I mean, literally, people can come in and almost buy a house for what their next security deposit and rent would be.
With assistance.
With the assistance. So, I mean, really think about it. If your lease is coming up, or this is something you really want to do, you're basically transferring that same lease amount to start your next lease and being able to own your own place.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you guys will go ahead and take all those parameters and then give a full analysis about what's going to work and what's to see if it's beneficial?
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest things that you have to remember is that we just don't want to give you a pre-qualification or say, hey, here it is, and have you go do research on your own. We want to make sure that you have a full understanding of the program.
Right.
So once you find the right house, you can move on it quickly, because it's still that type of environment that when you find the right house, it may not last long. So we have to make sure that you're prepared, educated, and ready to move when that opportunity presents itself.
Great. Thanks so much, you guys.